Okay, you guys, I want to show you um, what at one point I was thinking as a CEO, a business owner of a cleaning company, what is it that I need to be looking at on every day, every week, every quarter, every 6 months, every year, and so on? What's the matrix? What procedures do I need to have in place? What checklist? What process mapping? What policies? I was very confused at one point. The company was growing really fast, and I just didn't know I remember doing a Google search and thinking, as a business owner, as a CEO of a cleaning company, what is it that I'm responsible for? Because honestly, unless somebody tells you, you do some things, but a lot of the things you have to figure out on your own. And I started Googling and I couldn't find much. And I joined a lot of groups online and I paid for a lot of memberships to learn some of the things that I didn't know. So it was a compilation of trying to figure out as a CEO what I need to do, but also what other CEOs of large companies and small companies do on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. What meetings they hold with their staff. I was just trying to figure out really how to grow strategically and how to do so efficiently so my team was able to continue on the growth plan with me and I didn't leave anybody behind and that the company had a strong foundation to make sure that it can support the business growth that we have been experiencing all this year. So this is an overview of the cleaning business task list that I created over the years. And basically, as I'm just gonna go and take a few of these things because the list is quite long. If you see here, it's about 3 pages, and I took a lot of it out in regards to some things that are too basic and I just didn't want to have here. But they're so basic that you still need processes for them because you don't want your office staff to get too accustomed to making up their own policies when things happen. So again, this is just an overview. One of the things that I do and that I like to do every year is to go through my benefits and competitive matrix. Basically, this just shows what my company is doing better than the competition. And I also like to do a SWOT analysis where I figure out what is my competition doing better than me and what are my areas of opportunities. So I want to definitely figure that out and keep on track on that because you don't want to be taken by surprise. And as you know, if you know innovating, somebody else will and you will be left behind. So even though we're doing cleaning, we still have to figure out how to provide our customers with what they want and be ahead of the competition. So doing a benefits and competitive matrix and a SWOT analysis is key. And just so so it's clear, I'm talking about a SWOT analysis. So in this, the SWOT analysis is the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And the opportunities are key because those are the areas you don't want to focus so much on the weaknesses. You do want to fix them if they're major things that are going to prohibit you from growing and providing customers really good customer service to your clients. But you want to focus more so on the opportunities and how to take advantage of them so you can keep getting the company to the next level. This right here, the metrics to track efficiency through payroll, is basically a payroll analysis where you make sure that your payroll is not above, let's say 45%. If it's more than 40, you pick a number that you're comfortable with, that your company can deal with. And I will say for us, it's about 45%. If we go over 45%, there is something wrong, and that means that we need to figure out what's going on. Maybe there is a cleaner that is really very slow and it's dragging the team down. So tracking the payroll is key because it helps you figure out too how to make sure that your cleaners are working efficiently so you don't have customer complaint. But not only that, you obviously want to make sure that your payroll is not out of whack and that you're not going to have a week where all the money that you make goes out just to pay payroll, which happened to us once, and it was definitely a wake-up call, so that never happened again. Then we have the rate template. This is just basically us having a pricing spreadsheet, which is what I showed you in a previous video before, and making sure that everybody uses the same template. So there are no deviations from the template. And you have to make sure everybody's consistent in order for it to work properly. And then the bill rate alarm and process is just an alarm that we put on Google or a scheduling platform so we know every year when are we going to have to start sending out the rate increase. And that way we don't have to remember, we just put in an alarm. If we have a client that had a rate increase in July 20th, that means June of next year we're going to be sending another notice saying that the price is going to increase by X amount. So we do that for each and every client so we don't miss anyone in the process. The closing during holiday rescheduling email template is basically making sure that you're emailing the clients with 4 weeks notice so the clients know if the cleaning is going to be rescheduled to the day before or after because of a holiday. This is dispatching the mails is basically this is for the office staff that is working on the schedule. So this is a little bit tricky. So obviously, some clients are going to have more requesting orders, and if they have a specific mail that they request or a specific time, you just want to make sure that this is clear in your scheduling platform with notes for specific clients about their preferences. We also have invoices template that we use in order to communicate with clients that are behind schedule, that are past due with their payment. And if we have an issue, we don't have a lot of these issues, but if we do have an issue with someone that doesn't want to pay or someone that doesn't respond to our messages, we do have collection letters where people basically, the office staff will email or call people that are past due, the clients that are past due, and they have a template that they have to follow. So again, there is no deviation. They know what to say. They read the template before they call the client, and that way everybody's on the same page. We also have a morning meeting to dispatch the mains, and during this meeting we just go over what needs to be done for the day, any specific client requests, making sure that they have the keys, etc., etc. And then in the evening when the cars come back, we have a process for that. Again, we do have an opening and closing manual for everybody, including the mains, the office staff, commercial cleaners, payroll person. Anyone that works with us has an opening and a closing manual. This is pretty self-explanatory. If you're going to do a lot of social media and you're going to include your employees, you want to make sure that you have a release form from them so there are no potential lawsuits. And if somebody is concerned about the price, if they say price is too high, we have a template for that as well. And because we're in Boston where there is a lot of snow issues, we do have an emergency plan in place. I think everybody should have an emergency plan, but obviously if you're in an area like in Florida where there is hurricanes or Texas or Boston with the snow, I think wherever you are, it doesn't matter what. Like, let's say there is a fire. What happens if there is a fire? How do you communicate with your cleaners? How do you communicate with your clients and let them know when you're going to be closed, when you're going to reopen, and all of that stuff? Obviously, if you hire new people, you got to do background checks, and you have to interview them, you have to train them, You have to obviously hire them, but there is a process for that, and our process is pretty extensive. I'm going to do a video to go over that in the masterclass, and it's extremely extensive because we take it so seriously that I'll be happy to go over that in great detail when I do the video for the masterclass. The email marketing templates, again, I swear these email marketing works. I don't even know how else to say it because I have said it so much before. But email marketing can be a huge money maker for you. So you got to keep your eyes open, and you got to think about how to do drip email campaigns so you can take advantage of getting the emails from your clients, the email addresses. So you got to use them wisely. I bet you have at least 2 or 3,000 emails account in your database, and you're probably not doing much with them. And that is a huge waste of money. Obviously, you need to have labels with the MSDS sheets for the chemicals, and you need to have equipment and all of that. So you need to have a process for that. What happens if a vacuum breaks? What happens if somebody gets a chemical in their eyes? So all of that is a process that you need to have in place. Social media, you should have guidelines for social media, what you will post, when you will post, how often you will post. And I do have a template for that I'll be sharing also in the masterclass. I don't really spend a lot of time on social media lately because the email marketing are the main way that I'm getting most of my clients in the door. So it's a trade-off. If you're gonna do it yourself, there is only so much that you can do yourself, but definitely you need to at least post something at least once a week, just to make sure that the clients know, oh, okay, they're still around, and that they know that, anyone that goes online and they don't see that you have Facebook, they kind of feel like something is wrong. So you at least want to have Facebook for your company. Then obviously I talked about Yelp before, and this is key. Responding to Yelp reviews diplomatically is key. You cannot be rude. You cannot take anything personal. You just got to do your thing and respond very professionally and move on. Worst case scenario, if you do have to give someone a discount, before you respond to the Yelp reviews, call them and figure out how you can make the situation better. Try to not mention the Yelp. Just say, I noticed that you have a Yelp review, and I'm sorry that we didn't cut this before, but I want to figure out how to make this up to you. Can we offer you a re-clean, or can we offer you 50 off for the next cleaning? Be extremely professional. Put yourself in the shoes of the client. And sometimes what happens is when you behave like that, the customers will know that they overreacted, and they will change the reviews without you even having to ask. But if you don't think that that's going to happen, go ahead and ask them, can you please update the review? I would really appreciate it. As you know, we're a small business, and reviews are very important to us. So I would really love if you can update your review, and let me know if there is anything else that I can do for you. So really just make sure that Yelp can be a money-making machine. So you got to do your thing and do it strategically. And then how to find employees. You should have a process for that too. We mostly let our employees know when we're having openings, so they can do referrals and find people for us. We do have blog writing guidelines for a company, and we have disciplinary action forms. We do have an organization plan chart, and we have one for the vision of the company. Like 5 years from now, what will be the organization chart that we'll have in place? So that helps us feel like we're going places, we have a vision, we know what we want, and we're going to get it done. Along with that, we have the sales and marketing plan, and it's a pretty extensive plan that I created over the years. I keep updating it. It is very important for any of you to really do a sales and marketing plan, because that is the way that you're going to figure out how you're going to grow the company. So you definitely want to take the sales and marketing plan very seriously. We talked about that, but in some cases, customers will want to use for the cleaning company to use the client's equipment and supplies. And in that case, you just want to have the client sign a waiver, because you don't want to be responsible if their vacuum is scratches the floor because it has a broken piece or something, or anything can happen. So you just want to cover yourself and have the client sign a waiver. We also have, that's pretty self-explanatory. So we also have performance review, a spreadsheet that goes with our HR plan that I'll be talking about in the master class. And this is pretty self-explanatory. The smoking and drinking policy, we don't allow that. Sometimes when the clients are very messy, we have to send a tidy up letter form. And this is never fun, but sometimes you do have to do it. And because it's a challenging situation, I highly recommend that you have a template and that you use it, because otherwise you could end up saying the wrong thing to the wrong person, and then they might take it very personally, and you might lose a client just because you didn't communicate properly. Currently working on referral emails template, and basically that is us asking our current clients for referrals. We do get a lot of referrals, but if we do a better job at requesting the referrals more often, it will definitely double the referrals that we get if we become more intentional with them. And the quality control is pretty much an inspection form. We do have templates for firing customers, for firing employees. We have a template for everything. One of the ones that I really want to talk about here, obviously the price increase, you want to have a template for that. But on the weekly, something that I know that a lot of companies don't do is that they don't hold meetings. They're too small. They think that they're too small. Even if you only have one employee in the office, and you want to hold at least a weekly meeting once a week to go over the operation, figure out what's working, what didn't work last week, what suggestions the employees have. You gotta treat it like this is a real thing. And just because you have one office staff member or two doesn't mean that you don't deserve to be having these meetings and communicating. It took years until I started having official office meeting. I always have meetings with the staff to dispatch them in the mornings, but I never had official office meetings on a weekly basis. I did it every 3 months or something like that. And when we started having them every week, it really helped to clear out a lot of the little challenges that we had in the office, especially because at one point when we started having 5 employees, I wanted to make sure everybody was on the same page. So that became a big deal, and that is something that it doesn't matter what, I always put it in my schedule, and it gets done. It has to get done because I don't play around when it comes to having our weekly meeting for the office staff. Like I said, we have a template for everything. So obviously we have a template for one-time clients, on call, current clients. And we also have a template for when the clients decide to go with another company or they cancel service. We do want to know why they're canceling. Was it something that we did wrong? Was it something, we want to know any details that we can get. And so we definitely ask for that information. The other ones are pretty self-explanatory. If you're into commercial accounts, you definitely want to have forms and templates for them. So the templates that you have for residential are going to be different than the templates that you have for commercial. And you want to make sure that they're very specific and they're very focused on each individual division, because you don't want to have one template that talks about house cleaning and you're sending that to a commercial client. That just sounds like you're drinking the Kool-Aid or something like that. You gotta make sure that anything you send for commercial clients applies just to commercial clients, and anything you send to residential applies just to residential, because you do not want to confuse the clients, and definitely you don't want to confuse your office staff either. So this is just an overview again of everything that I deal with on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and yearly basis. We really take all of these things into consideration for operations and strategic planning. So, highly recommend it. Make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel and that you sign up for the newsletter at tremendouslife.com. Thank you. Ciao.